Let's dive right in. We're talking about a really critical topic in MLOps today, continuous training. Essentially, we're going to explore how we can turn our machine learning models from these static things we build once into dynamic, self-learning systems that are always adapting to the real world.
You know, it's a question every single ML engineer has to face at some point. You build this brilliant model, it tests perfectly, you push it to production, and then slowly but surely, its performance just starts to tank. It gets stale. What was once a cutting-edge predictor becomes, well, kind of outdated. And listen, this isn't a failure of the model itself. It's a failure of the process.
The old school way of dealing with this was, to manually retrain the model every few months. But in today's world, that's just not going to cut it. It's way too slow, it's full of potential for human error, and frankly, it leaves your whole system vulnerable. We need a much better, much more automated way to do this. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll dig into why good models go bad in the first place. Then we'll introduce the solution, continuous training. After that, we'll break down the anatomy of a CT pipeline, look at the tools you actually need to build one, and then we'll wrap it all up with a practical production playbook.
Okay, let's start with the core problem. The world is always changing, right? Customer behavior shifts, new trends pop up, and pretty soon, the data your model is seeing in the real world looks nothing like the data it was trained on. This is what we call concept drift, and it is the #1 reason why even the best models eventually fail. They just can't keep up.
So, how do we fight this decay? Well, the answer is to stop thinking of model training as this one-and-done event. We have to start treating it as a continuous process. And that right there is the whole idea behind continuous training, or CT. It's the smart, automated solution that keeps our models fresh, relevant, and most importantly, accurate. Let's get a really clear definition down. A continuous training pipeline is an automated workflow that manages the entire lifecycle of a model once it's in production. It doesn't just train a model one time, it automatically retrains, validates, and deploys new versions, which is what turns your static model into a genuine self-learning system. This is a real cornerstone of modern MLOps. Now, what I love about this is how it breaks that big idea down into 6 concrete actions. A CD pipeline is always on, always watching, ready to detect when an update is needed. Once it's triggered, it automatically grabs new data, retrains the model, validates the new version against the old one, deploys it safely, and then, and this is key, it keeps monitoring its performance. It's a complete self-correcting loop. If you come from a software engineering background, this is the analogy that will make everything click. You're familiar with CI/CD, right? It's all about automating the deployment of new code. Well, CT is the machine learning version of that, but here's the twist. Instead of being triggered by a code change, it's triggered by a change in the data or a drop in model performance. The goal isn't just shipping new code, it's deploying a better, more accurate model. Okay, let's get into the next section and see how this all fits together. We're going to pop the hood and look at the actual architecture of a continuous training pipeline. And I think the best way to really get it is to just follow the flow of data through the system. Everything kicks off right here. You've got new, real-world data constantly streaming into your production environment. This is the lifeblood of the whole system. It's the raw material for making your model better. Every single user interaction, every transaction, it's all a potential signal. Now, this data isn't just for making predictions. It's also being analyzed by a dedicated monitoring system. You can think of this thing as a watchtower. It's constantly comparing the new data to the old training data and tracking the model's accuracy. It's on the lookout for those telltale signs of data drift or a performance dip. And once that monitoring system sees that a certain threshold has been crossed, maybe accuracy dropped by 5% or the data distribution shifted in a big way, it sends a trigger. This isn't a person pressing a button. It's an automated signal that kicks off the entire retraining workflow. And this highlights one of the most critical steps in the whole process. The pipeline doesn't just blindly throw out the old model and put in the new one. No way. The newly trained model has to go through some serious validation. Maybe it gets deployed in shadow mode, where it makes predictions right alongside the old model but doesn't actually affect users. Or maybe it goes through an A/B test. Safety and reliability are everything here. So this table kind of pulls all the core components together neatly. You've got data ingestion, a feature store to make sure everything's consistent, the retraining engine itself, a model registry to keep track of all the versions, a safe deployment strategy, and of course, ongoing monitoring. Each and every piece plays a vital role. All right, so we've covered the what and the how. Now let's get into the with. To build a really solid CTI pipeline, you need a good MLOps tech stack. So let's take a look at some of the key types of tools you're going to need.
This is a great place to start. For orchestration, the brains of the operation that coordinates the whole workflow, you've got tools like Apache Airflow or Kubeflow Pipelines. For keeping track of all your model versions, there are registries like MLflow. For that super important drift detection step, you've got specialized libraries like Evidently AI. And of course, all the big cloud providers offer these huge MLOps platforms that bundle a lot of this stuff together for you. And now for our last section, the production playbook. Because look, knowing the architecture and the tools is one thing, but successfully running a CD pipeline in a live, high-stakes environment, that's another beast entirely. Let's talk about the strategies and best practices that make the difference between a fragile pipeline and a truly resilient one. Okay, the number one rule is this: never, ever replace a production model blindly. This slide right here is your safety net. Shadow deployment lets you test on live traffic with zero user impact, which is incredibly safe. A/B testing gives you that direct statistical comparison on real users. Canary deployments let you roll things out gradually. And absolutely critical, you have to have the ability to roll back to a stable version instantly if anything goes wrong. Now, this might be the single most important concept in this whole explainer. For a system to actually learn, it needs feedback. You have to collect the real outcomes, the ground truth, and compare them to what your model predicted. That feedback is the fuel for the next round of improvements. It's just like the side says, no feedback means no improvement, period. Of course, it's not always a walk in the park. You're going to hit some challenges. A new model might overfit to recent data, but you can solve that with strong validation checks. Training on huge datasets can be really slow, but you can use techniques like incremental learning to speed it up. Invalid deployments? That's what shadow testing is for. And if cost becomes an issue, you can get smart about training on smaller but still representative subsets of data.
So let's wrap this section up with a quick checklist for success. Use a feature store to keep things consistent. Fully automate your triggers. Always keep old models around for rollback and auditing. Track your key metrics relentlessly after every single deployment. And, for those really high-risk, mission-critical models, maybe think about adding a human in the loop for one final manual approval.
After all these components in tools and practices, it all comes down to this one single goal: to create models that aren't just static artifacts. We want to create true self-learning systems that adapt, evolve, and get better over time all on their own in response to the real world. I think this quote just perfectly captures the whole philosophy here. A good model? Yeah, it gets the job done today. But a great model, one that's powered by a continuous training pipeline, is built to last. It's resilient, it's adaptive, and it makes sure your system keeps delivering value, not just today, but long into the future. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. I want you to take a hard look at your own machine learning systems. Are they actively learning and adapting every single day? Or are they static, slowly getting worse, just waiting for the world to change enough to make them totally obsolete? The choice really is yours.